Alright guys, welcome back to the channel.
Well, welcome to the channel if you are new. Hopefully you are. Both.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel because we're going to be putting out tons of videos. Fun videos and challenging videos. But today's going to be an educational video.
Yeah, we have some good stuff for you today.
So this video is titled basically going over our rigs, catfish rigs that we use the most. Right? Our favorite ones we use the most. So I'm going to let Elizabeth start by showing you the simplest thing is the hook, right? Yeah. So when we're, I don't know where the hook's at. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's like it went missing. I'm going to show you how to snell a hook. The easiest snell knot that you could ever use.
Which is called a no knot snell.
Yes. And
that's going to be used for all the rigs we use because we always use circle hooks. And you always use this no knot snell.
And it works perfectly.
Once we get that done, we could show you the rigs because that's going to be continuously used for both rigs that we use most of the time when we're catfishing, right?
Right, exactly.
First with the hook, okay? So we use circle hooks. To us, it's better, I guess,
hook-up ratio.
And it's easier to get out of catfish's mouth. You don't have as many gut hook catfish. I don't think we've had any since we started using circle hooks.
No.
To me, an 8/0 is good for most size channel flatheads and blues. It's good for smaller and bigger ones. Mm-hmm. I would up it if you're going to go for more bigger size catfish.
Yeah, like the big monsters.
Yeah, if you're going out there for like 30s and 50s and so on, then yeah, of course you want to go higher with the hook. Like a 10/0.
9/0, 10, yeah.
Or that, maybe even higher. Mm. And also if you're throwing bigger baits, like if you're tossing out a fish head, you don't want to use I guess it's an 8/0 circle hook. You don't want to use an 8/0 because it won't keep your hook exposed to big fish head. So that's just a little tip one, which I'm sure most people already know if they've been catfishing for a while, the basics, but this is for newbies that might not know.
Right, exactly.
Or people who may want to know what rigs we use because not everybody uses the same rigs.
Alright guys, so this is the no knot snell. And we're going to start with first your leader. So the leader that we're using today is a 60-pound test. Now, depending on what size catfish you're going for, you can usually get away with a 30-pound. But we're using a 60-pound. I've already cut this to 24 inches. You want to start out with at least 24 inches for your leader. Gives you a little wiggle room so that you have enough when you're attaching for the snell as well for the rest of the rig. So I have the hook here. When I'm talking in the video, this will be the front of the hook and this the back. So try to make it as easy as possible for you guys. So I am going to run the end of the leader through the front into the back. Just like this. So you're going to have this little tail back here. That's how we're going to start this out. Pretty simple. And then most people say to wrap this around 6 to 8 times. I usually go about 7.
I do 10.
So it's preference, but you want to at least do 6. All right, guys, so we're going to take it around here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like I said, that's my preference. I usually do about 7. And this is the next easy step. You're just going to hold that in place. I'm going to grab the other end of the leader here. And you're going to run it from the back of the hook to the front. So you want this to come out the front of the hook. Hopefully you can see this pretty clearly. And then what I do to make sure it's secure, because you always want to make sure you have that nice and tight, is you're going to grab this very end of this leader, try to hold it and pull both ends. That will make it nice and secure. And we have never lost a catfish by this coming undone. And then I'm just going to trim off this little bit of a tail because you don't want that interfering with anything. Get that out of the way. So this is the no knot snell, the easiest one you could possibly do. Like I said, doesn't interfere. It has great hookups. We've never lost one.
Okay, so as you've seen, she did the no knot snell. The hooks on here good.
Yep, nice and tight.
As you see, you want it here Because what it does, the circle hook self-sets itself. So it rolls in the catfish's mouth, and then you reel it in, it sets itself. You don't have to yank the rod. Great hook up.
Oh, yeah.
If you've been catfishing as long as we have, you probably already know.
All right, now if you're still using the J hooks, that's why we're saying that you don't have to set that hook that hard.
Because J hooks can cost you fish if you're not paying attention. This is great for us, especially when we're filming, not paying attention, or we have several rods out, because we can have like 2 fish on the rod at 2 lines at one time, and the other rod's just sitting there while we're reeling the other one. So
and it has happened, so it's great for those situations.
So the first rig we're going to do that we use most of the time is the Carolina rig. If you've been catfishing, you know the Carolina rig. It's the most basic catfish rig. And I would say I use that most of the time, but there's a little more detail to it we'll get into next.
Alright, so guys, Carolina rig. Very, very, very simple.
So this is the leader and the hook that she has. So that's the leader line. So you don't take, I'm going to show first the main line. So this is the main line that'd be coming from your rod tip, right? Rod tip, main line. Alright, so the Carolina rig, you don't take your main line, not your leader line, your main line. You have 2 options. You can take an egg sinker or a no roll sinker and put it through like so, if I can get it to work here. And egg sinker and no roll sinker is kind of the same concept. You just put it through and it slides. That's the simplest way to use a sinker for a Carolina rig. But the other way, which we love using, is these clips. And there's a reason behind it. So if you take this clip, one of those clips, sinker slide clip, okay? And why that's great is because where we fish out, like rivers, tidal rivers, the water flow is always changing. So we might go from a 3-ounce sinker to a 5-ounce sinker in a matter of minutes. But then if you're using an egg or a no-roll sinker, you have to cut your whole line, re-rig it right. This way, all you have to do is open the clip, add what sinker you want, and you're good to go. Yeah,
it's simple, easy, and you can just change out them weights and them sinkers anytime you want.
So it's still the Carolina rig. It's just now it's easier to change out the rig. Also, you add a pyramid sinker here, and it's great for surf fishing. So you can use a Carolina rig with the clip and put on a pyramid sinker, and there you go. You're all set for surf fishing. Same way, Carolina rig. Yep. You don't have to change anything out. Just boom. Great. And that's what we do. It's great for striped bass too, because striped bass can't feel the hook. So when it hits the hook on the leader line, just slides. It doesn't feel the heaviness of the weight sinker.
And that's very important for them.
For this demonstration, so I'm putting my pyramid sinker in here. We're just going to use a pyramid sinker for this video. So as you see, it's sitting here. Let me get some more main line out. Sitting here, so it's able to slide. So I'm going to give Liz Abella here my main line so she can do her work for the Carolina rig.
Alright, so next you're going to take a bead, which the importance of this is to keep the weight from sliding down and breaking the knot. And you're going to make the knot, they'll be going to the swivel. So that's why the bead is recommended. And they come in many different sizes and colors.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to use the bigger one for this one. That way you can really see what it looks like.
So you're going to slide on the main line?
Main line. Going to slide it right on the main line. If I can see today too, that'd be pretty cool. There we go. So we have it on the main line.
So you see, so you still have your sinker, and then you have the bead right next to it right now. She still has the main line.
So I'm going to take the very end of this main line, and I'm going to attach a swivel, which we have a 2-way here. So I'm just going to attach that real quick.
And these swivels are rated for a 50-pound, I believe 50-pound fish. The swivels we're using right now.
And they also come in many different sizes.
And durability and all that good stuff. Yeah. Again, it's all about what size you're targeting. Same as hooks. Because if you're going to use like a larger hook, you're not going to get as many small catfish with it. But if that's what you're targeting, it's like a 50-pounder, and you don't really care about numbers.
All right, let me trim this off real quick, guys, and I'll show you. Alright guys, and I just attached it using a Palomar knot. It's one of my favorite go-tos. Very simple. So I have the main line attached to the swivel. And then the other end of the swivel, I'm going to be attaching the hook with the leader to it.
So as you see, this is still the main line.
Alright guys, again, the hook with the leader. I'm going to attach this to the other end of that swivel to attach it to the main line. This is going to bring the rig all together. And I'm using the same knot as before, the Palomar knot. Okay. And that's it. So there's the swivel attaching the main line to the leader to the hook. And I'm going to trim off this tail.
So here is a Carolina rig. So you have the leader line, the hook, and then the main line with the sinker, the bead, and the other half of the swivel. So this is a Carolina rig, the most basic catfish rig. We use it probably 75% of the time. I know right now I have 2 rods rigged with Carolina.
Yeah, I'm the same. 2 rods, Carolina.
So if you use our next rig that we're going to talk about, the Santee Cooper rig.
Yes.
You don't have to do much with this at all. So all Isabel's got to do here on this is add a pig float.
That's it. Pig float. Alright, so I've added the pig float
To this Carolina rig, which makes it now a Santee Cooper rig. Now why this is great is instead of it laying flat in the water with the sinker, the float brings the hook up and keeps the hook off the bottom. So a lot of people think that catfish just lay in the mud, but that's not always true. Sometimes they're floating a few feet above the bottom looking for prey and bait and all the good stuff. So this allows it to be off the bottom a few inches to a foot, sometimes a little bit more depending how you adjust it. As you see, this is how it will look. The sinker's still in the bottom. So to me, the Santee Cooper rig is a great rig. It also keeps it from snagging. So it helps prevent snags. Not every time, but the snag ratio is a heck of a lot better, 10 times better than using the Carolina rig. So we like to use this in when it's snaggy areas because it keeps it from snagging and you have a better chance of getting your tackle back than you would with Carolina rig. Alright, so that's the Santee Cooper rig. But to me, to give some more information, like I said, Santee Cooper rig's great for snags. To me, it works better in the summertime, late spring, summertime. But as far as wintertime, Carolina rig. And with the Carolina rig, it's like we showed you, all you do is take this off, right? Yeah. But there's something else to the Santee Cooper rig I want to go over. And that is, instead of using a pig float, the new fad that seems to be going around is using a Rattle Demon Dragon. This is a purple one.
Yeah, that's the blackout.
So instead of using this pig float, if you hold that.
Absolutely.
So instead of using this little pig float or a 3-inch pig float, you'll put the Demon Dragon here. So what the difference is the Demon Dragon does the same concept. It keeps it above the water, not above the water, but above the bottom, a foot or 2 off the bottom. But when there's water action there, like waves or current, it makes a rattle. Supposedly it attracts more fish, the Rattle does. Am I sure of that?
Yeah.
A lot of people say yes, some say no. It's debatable for me because I'm a traditionalist of, hey, I love the Carolina rig, but, I see it does work for people, so I guess you can't argue that.
Yeah.
But to me, I've already used a pig float. I don't know about you.
I think I've only caught 1 or 2 when using this on for the Santee Cooper rig.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to say pig float maybe more.
For us, but we're bank fishermen or bank anglers, so it's a different kind of thing from being in a boat. But I do know a lot of bank anglers that we're friends with do use the Demon Dragons, and it does. They catch a lot of fish.
Oh yeah, they do.
So to me, it's just preference. That's the honest truth. You can use the pig float, you can use the Demon Dragon when doing the Santee Cooper. But again, yeah, as far as wintertime, my personal opinion, Carolina rig is the way to go. I don't know why it works better. Maybe because it's farther down. Maybe the catfish are down in the bottom when it's cold out in the cold months, I can't tell you. I'm not a biochem or whatever the heck it is, not biochem, but
a specialist in that
in the
catfish.
marine biologist or whatever. But yeah, so hopefully these rigs help you out. This is the rigs that we use. I'm sure if you've been catfishing, you already knew these rigs. There's other catfishing rigs that we didn't go over in this video because we don't use them as much. Really rare do we use any of the other rigs. These are the two that we almost always use for lakes, ponds, and rivers.
So if there's any rigs or knots that you guys would love to see us do a tutorial on, please let us know. Put it in the comments. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and in the comments you can put what rigs you use. What's your favorite rig? Because you might like the Demon Dragon more than us. You might like the Santee Cooper rig more than I do. So yeah, let us know. Or let us know if there's other rigs that you find that are better than these two rigs. For us, this is what works. This is what we like. We do catch many a catfish on it, all sizes, from 1 to 3 pounds to 20-something pound blue cats. So can't go wrong with that, right?
No.
So anyway, we're going to be, of course, slamming out more fun content. We're going to do some more education videos, some more challenge videos, some more bait videos. You name it, we're going to have a little bit of everything, all fishing and camping related on this channel.
Absolutely.
So until next time,